Hello and welcome to Power System Analysis 2. We are in module 2.2. Here we'll be discussing the NR method. We have previously discussed the basic structure of the NR method. Here we'll be looking at the as an example, and we'll work with a particular solution on it. Okay, so let's start. Now, coming from the previous discussion of the NR method, the Newton-Raphson method, let us first just see the we have a 5-bus system. Of the 5-bus system, there are 2 PQ bus and 2 PV bus. So bus number 2 and 4 are PQ bus, and bus number 3 and 5 is PV bus, and 1 is slack bus. Now, what is the slack bus? Slack bus is nothing but the like the reference bus. Okay, so we corresponding to the particular vectors we have will form, that is the delta and modular of V's. Okay, so how many values of delta, pairs of delta and V we have? We should have 4. Okay, of which we should have 4. But remember, here we have 2 PV buses, so that means we have 4 delta, but only 2 V's. Okay, because PV bus, the V, as we have discussed, the V is already predefined. So here we can see this is the matrix that is being formed, where on the left hand side we have the delta P and delta Q. What is the delta P? Delta P is formed by, for every bus, the delta P is formed by the difference of the actual value of the P given and the P that is being calculated by the formula that we have discussed before. Okay, that difference is the delta P. Now this is the function that should be equal to the Jacobian multiplied by the this change in the variable. Now for the variable it is the delta and the modular V. So on the right hand side you have the delta of delta 2, delta V2 by V2, that is for the pair of for the bus 2. Delta 3 is for delta of delta 3 and delta of 4 is for the PV bus. Sorry, delta of delta 3 is for the PV bus. You can see delta 3 is for the PV bus, and delta of delta 4 and delta V by delta V4 by V4, that is for the 4th bus, that is the PQ bus, and we have delta V5. Okay, so for all these particular pairs we have a particular matrix of H, N, J and L. Okay, this H, N and J and L, we can see we have for every pair we have this matrices, but only for the PV bus we do not have this N and J. Okay, just look, we do not have this N and J. Okay, and even for the, so because it is a PV bus, so this is the formation how the this matrix is formed. So let us look at one example. So before that we'll talk about the algorithm. So there are this is the particular algorithm with the voltage and the angle, where the delta is equal to 0 at the slack bus fixed. Assume the modular V, delta at all PQ bus and delta at all PV bus. So since PQ bus the V and delta is not known, so before our study we start with assuming the value of modular of V and the delta at the PQ bus, and the PV bus only delta is assumed. Okay, then we compute delta P for PV and PQ bus and delta Q for all PQ bus. So we compute that how we compute, we calculate the P by the calculation. I'll show you the calculation. This calculation we have used for in the previous load flow analysis. That calculation we calculated the value of P, and the actual value of P that is being defined in the problem, that the difference of that will create the delta P, and delta P is both common for PV as well as PQ, and delta Q is only for the PQ bus, because there is no we cannot find delta Q for the PV bus, because PV bus the Q is not given. Now if the convergence criteria is not satisfied, we evaluate the elements of the Jacobian. How we evaluate, I will explain. So if our assumption is not correct, which is actually the case, so we have to find out the Jacobian. Okay, now we solved this equation. The equation is nothing but this matrix, okay, to form the correct value of voltage angles and magnitude. Now update voltage angle and magnitude by adding the corresponding changes to the previous value and return to step 2. So we update. Now we got the newer value of delta and V. Now we update the values of delta and V for every bus, and then we continue our iteration. Okay, there's something to note here. So in step 2, that is in the computation of delta P and delta Q, okay, if there is a limit to the controllable Q sources and at PV buses, the Q is computed each time, and if it violates the limit, it is made equal to the limiting value, and corresponding PV bus is made a PQ bus in that iteration. What is it? It's saying that for the PV bus, we know the PV bus, the P and V is known, Q and delta is not known. Now we find out the value of Q, but this value of Q violates a certain precaution that we cannot have Q generation to that extent. Then what we do is that we take that limiting value of Q, and for that iteration we consider PV bus as a PQ bus. Okay, and point number 2 is that if there are limits on the voltage on the PQ bus, and if any of these limits is violated, the corresponding PQ bus value is taken and is made into PV bus. Just similar to just as for the PQ buses, we will consider PQ bus to be a PV bus if the limits of the PQ bus is violated. So this is the algorithm for the NR method. Okay, your question comes as to define the algorithm. So we start with, we read the load flow data and the Y bus. Okay, so we assume the different voltages. So we set the iteration count. So the first iteration will go on. So then we set the bus count. So for every bus, we will check whether it is a slack bus or not. So if it is slack bus, we'll ignore that. Okay, now if it is not a slack bus, we calculate the bus current. Okay, so then we will check whether it is a PV bus or a PQ bus. So if it is a PQ bus, we'll go into a different path. If it's a PQ bus, we'll go into different path. So if it's PV bus, we'll compute P and V. If it's a PQ bus, we'll compute P and Q. Now for the P and when it is a PV bus, we have to check whether the Q is within certain limits. If the Q is within limits, it goes out of limit, then we have to put Q min or Q max according to that. Okay, and then we'll start the computation. Okay, now when we'll go to the computational side, now this is the computational side. So we determine the delta P, delta Q for every bus. Okay, so after that we'll check that if the maximum delta is within tolerance. If it is within tolerance, then we'll stop and we'll say our work is done. But if it is not, then we'll start the Jacobian and determine the different values of the Jacobian, and we'll advance for the iteration. and this will go on until and unless this the limit of limiting tolerance is reached. Okay, so this is the end of this lecture. Okay, we will continue with one example in the next class. Thank you.